Hello guys, DaveDev here. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the strings in PHP, in particular on how to use them and how to work with them. So strings are basically a container formed by a sequence of characters, each one stored as a byte. One of the most common ways to initialize strings is by using quotes, in particular single quotes or double quotes. The single quotes, it's basically to specify the text as is, without any kind of representation or changing any values. On the other hand, double quote strings are mostly used to let PHP know that there are some special characters that needs to be represented in another way. In this case, we can specify the name of a variable and PHP will convert that variable to the actual value of it. So let's take a look. As we can see here, the value of the variable is 1, 2, 3. So PHP transformed this side of the variable name into the actual value of it. We can use the double quotes as well to specify escape characters like the end of line. I added the text area here because the end of line, well, most of the escape characters do not work in HTML because they are not recognized. But just for this example, we added the value inside of a text area to see that it's actually adding an end of line character. So if we save here, as you can see, it says string with escape character here. So in between character and here, it has added an end of line. However, we have a constant PHP value that allows us to specify the end of line character instead of using the \n, because this is not compatible with all or the operative systems. So PHP fixed that by adding this constant, which is PHP EOL, meaning end of line, which, as we can see in our case, in Windows, the end of line it's \n, which will result in the same. There are multiple operations that we can use with strings that allow us to modify string variables on the go. One of the most important ones is concatenation, which allows us to merge together two strings and make a complete new one. And this is done by using the dot, as you can see here. So if we save here, and as you can see, we have a string 1, which is concatenated and space, and then the string 2, which is a string. And the concatenated string is basically a string 1 and a string 2 concatenated between them. There's a quicker way of doing this by using the concatenation and assignment operator, which is pretty similar to the previous one. However, we don't need two different variables to do that. As you can see here, we have the string 1, which is concatenated. And then without adding a new variable, we can concatenate the previous value of the string 1 with the new value. So we save this and try it. You can see it has, in a string 1, it concatenated and assigned the new value to the actual variable that we were using. Now, there are multiple methods that we can use to work with strings. There are a lot of them, but today we are going to show the most commonly used for working with strings. The first one is empty. This can be used for multiple types of variables, but for the case of the strings, it will basically check if the string given is empty or not. We refresh this, as we can see, string empty string. It returns a boolean, which is true because we specified an empty string over here. The next one is the string length. It will basically return the length of the string given. You can see we have been given the length of string 1, which is concatenated string, and it returns 25. The next one is strpos, which will return the position of the second string found in the first string, or false if the second string is not found. We can see here the original string we have is some long string, and we are looking for the string called string inside of the original string. And this will give us the position of this word inside of the string. We can see here it says 10. So if we just check it, we start with the position 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. As you can see, it's the starting position of the word because it found it. If this were going to be something like something different, you can see it returns false, meaning that this string is not found in this other string. The next one is str replace. What this will do is return the original string, but replacing it by the string that you have specified. So the first argument is the string that you want to look for. The second argument is the string that you want to replace for the first string. And the third one is the original string that you want to apply it. So we have the string that is a string to replace this. And what this will do is basically replacing this by the word replaced. And the last method that we're going to show today is sprintf. This one is pretty useful because it allows you to easily combine multiple variables and values to make a big string. In this case, you can specify the type of variables that you want to use in your string and replacing them by the actual values. So for example, we have here the original string that we want to use, but as you can see here, we have special characters. So the &s, it's the representation of a string. The values that you give to this function will replace these percentage characters. So the first parameter that you need to give to this string is a string. You can see the first parameter that I give to the function is hello, which is a string. The second one is %f, which represents float or double values. And as you can see here, I put a float value. And the third parameter is a %d, which represent integers, which I placed here. So this is very handy when you have complex strings. So it allows you to replace and add parameters quite quickly and quite nicely instead of just concatenating values and values over and over. And this is the end of today's video. In the next video, we will take a look at logical operators, comparison operators, as well as if-else statements. Thank you for staying until the end. Please subscribe to the channel and give a like if you like the content, and let me know in the comment sections if you have any questions or suggestions. See you in the next video.